I like the idea of when things don't work out and people manage to push it further. And I'm curious for folks who may not know, you really had, I think it's fair to say, your big break with Queen's Supreme Court. People loved it. It was viral whenever y'all went on air. When your previous co-host left, uh, did you think like, man, I don't know if this is going to work moving forward? How am I going to make this happen? Or were you confident that I'm going to
Well,
rock?
well, here's the thing about me. Like, I'm a transgender woman. And like all my life, the rug has been pulled from up under me. All my
Mm,
life. And so the cards that I'm dealt, I have to survive. Like when that happened in 2007, I think it was. Yeah, it was 2007. You know, no, not seven, 2017. Excuse me. Damn,
mm.
Jesus, so much stuff has happened. In 2017, that happened, and I was like, oh God, all right. It was more embarrassing that it happens in a public space, so public like that, like
Yeah,
with the Queen's
fallout.
Court. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Queen's Court fallout was so public, and it was so public that everyone had the opportunity to see it. And here's why I talk about God's timing. uh 4 years later, five years later to the date, Monique came and sat on my sofa on my own show on
A
Fox
Fox,
Soul.
Fox Soul.
Turned out,
That was
yeah,
a great interview.
yeah,
You're a good interviewer. You don't have
yeah.
to ask the question. Yeah.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. You see, I know how to chameleon. But it
Yeah.
was turned out with my show's turned out with T.S. Madison on Fox Soul. That was a full circle moment for me because not only did she come and she sit on my show, things manifested for her after that. Like things were like her and Lee Daniels, like right after that. Her
Hmm.
and Lee Daniels fixed their long-standing beef that they had. And they started working together on a project that's coming out for Lee Daniels' film is coming out to Netflix called Deliverance. And like I had an opportunity to, because maybe it might not 5 years before, it might not have worked out that way. It might not have worked out if she'd have came, because that was the catalyst of the separation from the for the
Yeah.
Queen's Court. Like the Monique interview
It was
that
supposed
night
to
was
happen
happening.
and it didn't happen. Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
5 years later, to the date, Monique sat on my sofa, February, uh, February 7th, because that's the date we fell out on Queen's Court, was February 7th. I think it was 2018. So 2022. So 4 years later, because like the way that the year comes in, it's the
Yeah.
new year and then it's another year.
Yeah.
So 4 years later, Monique came and sat on my show without a co-host, without anything, whatever, like my show turned out with T.S. Madison, and things happened. The universe moved for
Mm.
her and for something. And so what I gained from that, Clay, was this. In the grand scheme of things, I'm a pebble.
Mm. Mm.
When I was looking at it at that time, I looked at it as this was all about me. This was all about what was going on in my life. This was all about what was going on my show. It was a pebble. It's a pebble. Because when you look at it, the effect that it had on my life, Monique's life, Lee Daniels' life, like it was supposed to happen because there was so many people that were going to be affected by this one sit down. And in 2017, on that February 7th, it wasn't going to the effect that needed to happen, it wasn't going to happen then.
Mm.
It was going to happen now, and it
No.
happened in this time frame, and it moved and shifted and rippled and all this stuff. Like Lee Daniels and I have some huge business together coming, huge
Wow. Wow.
business coming. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wait,
and
wait,
I,
wait. Yes, yes. I gotta ask this really quick. That previous co-host, she said some really heinous things about gay men and trans folks.
uh,
She was your friend. Do you think she's quote unquote transphobic or homophobic or just trying to shock?
uh, I think that when things come out of people's mouth, I think that when people show you in the words of the great Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are the first time, believe them. The first time, when they show, not when they show you who they are, when they show you they are the first time. I thought that I was safe because, this person was my friend, and that, but they had always been saying, homophobic, transphobic slurs and jokes and things. And, I thought that because, and usually with gay and trans people, when we're not on the front line of the firing squad, we feel safe. But the moment that these people feel some type of way about you, the gun turns around on you and you receive it. And I think that we get in safe spaces and we tend to, forget our brothers and sisters. But, oh, they're not talking about me. They're talking about y'all. No, you got to realize, if this is the way they feel about one, they feel this way about people in totality, because if it easily slides out of their mouth easily like that. Easily. Yeah, it's a low blow and low jazz, but it easily slides off because this is the way you deeply feel. You deeply feel that, we're men in wigs and we have AIDS and we're child molesters, because it was so easy to go from Monday being my friend to Tuesday I was these things. Easy, just like that. So this is who you are inside. This is what you are. You mask it because you're an entertainer, and entertainers, pander their music and their movies and their stuff to people because they want you to buy, because it's all about buy. They spend money. I love them because they spend money, girl. They spend money, but the moment that I need to let them know this is how I really feel. I don't want my kids around you. I don't want you to be, I think you have AIDS. Like, I don't know. Like, no, if in the grand scheme of things, this is how I really feel about you. And I really want people to pay attention to people like that. Like, pay attention to how easily, if today they're your friend and tomorrow you're a fag, you got to pay attention to that, because this is how they feel. This is how they are. Do I think that she's this? Yes. And I think that it's not really her fault. I think it's just the upbringing. It's the upbringing. If you're Black and you're from the hood and you're really hood, you've been raised homophobic and transphobic. It's in your house. The word fag freely floats around. A punk, a sissy, the thought process on AIDS and who has it, it runs freely in that house. You were raised that way. That generationally was passed down to you. You were raised up like that, to have these thoughts. Yeah, I got gay friends, but this is the limit to them. Yeah, they my sidekicks. I'm the lead because I'm straight, so I'm gonna get in the door. Yeah, I might protect them to this amount, but that's my faggot friend over there. It's still not a full all around genuine situation. But is it their fault? Do I really blame it on? I blame it on the community raising this type of stuff. You understand what I'm saying, Clay?
Absolutely, I'm with you.
When you really look at it, because like if you were raised in a Black home and nobody knows your tea until you really reveal it, you've heard the jokes.
Oh.
Or you've heard the slander, or you've seen it firsthand. Like, these gays are, these fags are, they have AIDS, don't you know? Or the first time you're thinking about telling your parents or someone in your family that you're gay or whatever. Oh, don't do that. You're going to get AIDS. Like, that. So these are the thoughts. So do I think that they're homophobic and trans? Like, subconsciously, yeah, it were raised that way. It's in the root. It's in the upbringing. Yes, I do. To answer your question, yes, I do think so.
And what's crazy is that previous co-host, to be honest with you, I didn't, until y'all worked together, I hadn't, because of you and your brand, it kind of gave her a resurgence. And it's so unfortunate. That's not even kind of, it did. And that's unfortunate. You would take money from this community, take dollars from this community, and then because there's a falling out, you say some really heinous stuff.
And you mean it when you say it. and you mean it. Like you're not saying these heinous things, for clickbait. You mean this from the depths of your soul. Yes, you're angry about something and you feel wrong. But listen, if we're really friends, a phone call, it's all it takes. It don't take the internet. It don't take the bashing. Don't take that. If you think that there was a wrong done to you, call me, talk to me, communicate with me. I've known you for years before this, like 5 years before this. 5 years we were doing something for breast cancer, raising money for breast cancer, like in 2000 and was it 15, 12? Well, I don't remember, but for April, I remember I met her in April of 2015. And it's just like, I've known you 5 years before this. Like, girl, what, what's like, what happened? Like, what is going on? So, but hey, listen, I wish peace, love, blessings to everybody, because I can't hold ill intentions and ill feelings in my heart. I have to look at it like it was all God's plan. We needed to see her, the skin pulled back off of her so we can see it, so we can witness. Some people witnessed it and was like, well, again, she's talking to her, not me. Instead of really looking at it like, whoa. Because it's just like every chance that this individual gets to bash someone from our community, even when they go on tirades about Saucy Santana. I've watched those. I've seen it, like her go on tirades about Saucy Santana, and yes, she's a reader and a roaster, whatever it is that she calls herself, and she can say the most vilest things. But when it comes to the girls, you really play on every stereotype about us that there is. Like, all of us don't have AIDS, and all of us are not pedophiles. And but like, listen, if you want to talk, this pedophiles exist in all communities. It doesn't have a gender identity. It exists in all communities. But you lean on that to further push the stigma or further push the agenda that we prey on children. And that was all that other stuff that was said about me. I don't that it I expect that, but to try to add that to my resume, like, oh, you molest boys. Like, why would you? That's malicious, and that people will fall in line with that, like, just to be on that hateful shit. They'll fall in line to be like, yeah, that's what they do. I'm like, we're all the times we were around me. So so you witnessed this? You saw this with your eyes, is what you're telling me? How I was just sister all the days leading up to Monday, and then Tuesday I'm a pedophile. I don't make it make sense to me. I was angry about that for a while. Like, that was the most I was angry about. All that other stuff about AIDS and broke and a trans man in a wig, and like, that's stuff that you hear. But it's just that, like, to try to really push that, like, to try to push me as a sexual deviant. I didn't like that, and that's what hurt me the most, because I'm like, bro, I know things about you that I still have not sat in the public space, occupied a public space, and said anything malicious about you, because that's not what it was for me, And you went to the depths and talked about how my mom is handicapped, and like, really for nothing. Like, all of this stuff was for nothing. But what I did absorb from that, Clay, was that people needed to see that happen. Once again, it's not my time, it's God's time. And I was, during those times, asking God, like, God, why is it so nasty like this? But what people got to see? They got to see all that. People got to see me rise, and the T.S. Madison experience on WeTV. People got to see me, like, it's so many things happened. Like, I've been in movies, and like, bros, except tonight, top bill cast. Come on, Beyonce, like, all the things, like, it was so many things happened Like after it was like the phoenix rising from the ashes. And the only person that can do that is God.
That's
The only
right.
person. And so everything that has happened it had nothing to do with me per se. It was the will and what we need to see the awesome raw power of God, because sometimes we forget because we don't see him in a solid flesh form. We just got to see him, how he works, and he can work through anything and manifest through anything, even a transgender woman, a black transgender woman who was an ex-adult film star, who was into, secular life, who people said needed to be more like Laverne Cox or this and the other and blah, blah, blah. But God, ha!
Better take me out on a Friday.
Hey,
Yo, T.S. Madison, I love you. When I first heard about Bros, I was like, I'm not gonna go see this. It's a bunch of white gay boys. But then when I saw T.S. Madison is in it, I said, oh, I'm gonna go see it. And actually, I had a chance to see it in advance. I loved it. And so
it was good.
It was good. But you are the reason. This is the reason why having diverse voices is important, because I wouldn't have seen it as another white gay boy story. But knowing that you were in it, I said, oh, I support everything.
Well,
See, if Madison could be no bullshit.
I love you for that. And I love you for that. And I love that you said that. And it's important for people, for people that create films and television to hear that. Because, no matter how we are stories are told, they are always told from a white, gay, white, trans, it's all told from these perspectives. And then, people of color we are part of the story too. So, we want to see ourselves reflected too. When I see a whole bunch of stuff I'm just like you. I'm like, I ain't watching that shit. Because, then I say, oh, okay. All right. They don't put, let me see what kind of flavor they done sprinkled up in there, and I'm glad that you said this, because this opens up doors for casting agencies to be like, okay, we need TS because TS is important. Like, her story is important. Her presence is important for her to be in this stuff, because people are like, yeah, that's my girl. And then, okay, they gave her 9 lines or the 15 lines or whatever, but honey, and her presence, but then you're like, okay, but the story's good too. Okay.
Yeah.
But next time when y'all do Bros too, my girl better have more lines and more presence and more this and that. I know my people's out there. Yeah, they better do my girl right. And this anticipates you for Bros too, because they can't do a Bros too without the board, honey.
Absolutely. And I want my own T.S. Madison romantic comedy. I believe it can happen.
You know what? You better speak that high. Hey,
I'm for real. Yeah. It would be hilarious. It would be the best thing. It would be the best.
I think it will be the best thing, because you know what? Don't make me write this down. Don't make me and you get in the writer's room and we write this. Listen, I'll call you. I got your number in my phone.
Absolutely. We'll take it. We'll go Boomerang level. We'll go Bridesmaids level. We'll make this. I mean, it would be the best. It would be the best. I mean,
it would be the best. And listen, and Universal is definitely open to these stories and stuff like that, because they really like me. They really like my presence. Because like when I came to the set, I brought the raw TS. Me and Miss Lawrence. Oh, honey.
Yeah. I love Miss Lawrence.
Baby, me and Miss Lawrence wore that set out. Like listen, if they ain't never know nothing about Black flavor in the South and Southern and the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and they got all that on set. They got it, baby.
Wait, one more thing then we'll go. With the great thing about this moment with you, with Miss Lawrence, even Little Nas X, is for such a long time, Black LGBT folks, we were the sidekicks. We were just doing somebody's hair. We were,
I call us pocketbook.
Yeah, we're just an accessory.
Yeah.
No, not anymore. No, we're gonna be center stage in the front. In the front. And that's important.
And let me tell you something. And that's what scares the people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what scares the Black homophobes and the Black trans, that fear. This is when they start saying, oh, I don't want my children. We can't let the children see. Now you want to be protective of the kids, but what you have to realize is that you weren't protecting your kids from gang violence, from drugs, and you glorified this stuff in the music. Like you sit and you have these conversations about the detriment that the gay and the trans brings to the children, but yet you're not talking about how you how the detriment in the community has always been on your part.
That's right.
It's always lied on your shoulders.
That's right.
I don't make drug dealers. I don't
No.
glorify drug dealers. I don't glorify robbing and killing and stealing,
Violence.
violence in my own community. I don't do that. But I can turn on, I can say, hey, Alexa, play a few of these songs, and we will definitely roll through. She will do me a rollout.
But you also aren't judging that, and you're asking folks not to judge you. Let me live my peaceful life.
Correct, because those stories, those thug songs is actually some of those men's lives. That's the lives that they've lived.
That's right.
So we're not.
They can live that life.
They can live that life. So me telling you that men love me at night, pay me at night, run away from me in the morning, probably try to sneak out the window. Some may shoot and stab and kill me, because they've loved on me all night and don't want nobody to know. Like, this is my story too. This is a story too. I exist too. I exist too, honey. Let me tell you my trauma. Let me put my trauma in a show or on a song. I'm listening to yours all my life. I don't know anything about slinging coke and serving, dope and robbing somebody. I don't know anything about that, but I can definitely tell you I know about being there when he came home with the money, or me in there, laying next to him while he putting the bag together. Cause I got me a thug. Sure, they want a thug. Sure, they want a thug.
Oh my God. Yo, you've taken me to church. You've taken me to the cackle.
Taking you right to the hood. It took you to the hood.
To the hood. All these airwaves. T.S. Madison, I know you have a tight schedule. Thank you for giving me more time. You just bring so much joy when I talk to you. I'm so proud of you. You're incredible. I want y'all to support Bros.
Please.
It dropped today. Go out and support. T.S. Madison is hilarious. Miss Lawrence is hilarious. And then after that, you got to support T.S. Madison in general. I mean, she just brings joy, and just joy. That's what it's about.
I love you. I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you being on Sirius Radio. I'm so proud of you. Like, when I met you in person and we laughed, I think it was you, me, and Kid Fury. Yeah, we might have laughed. I messed up that game so bad, but it was so much fun, and I had such a great time doing your show. I want you to continue doing exactly what you're doing and opening up your platform, because we need all of that. I'm dark skin, light skin, brown skin, beige, fluorescent beige. Bitch, I'm black.
I love you, T.S. Madison.
I love you, baby.
Celebrate this opening weekend. Celebrate. And I will talk. I know you'll be working, grinding. Yeah. Pop a bottle, do something.